Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is gonna be featuring the Dolphin emulator, and we're gonna be playing a Scarface. The world is yours, and this is a Wii version of the game, and we're gonna be using again the Dolphin emulator to see how the game performs. You're gonna notice in the beginning of the video a couple of messages that you guys probably familiar with it right now after I did some of my tutorials on how to use the JIT in order to run the emulator in iOS 15 without any type of jailbreak. So this is what you guys see right now. So please bear with me right now. I'm testing some of the settings right now, and I'm gonna be testing Metal Gear to see how it loads, because when I was recording this video I was having some issues with playing the Scarface game. It was giving me some issues, but you're about to see in a few moments after I switch back to the other game. After clicking on the Scarface game that you see right now, I actually click on the game. You see in the top right corner we could see that the frame rate is actually running, but it's running really slow, like around 3 to 4 frames per second. So that means that the game is actually running, but it wasn't loading. It wasn't loading on time, so everything is running really slow on it. So I switched to Metal Gear just to double check that my settings are in the correct spot right where I left it. So the Metal Gear game is running with no issues. But let's see what happens next. So you see me here like switching in between, make sure my controller is as correctly and the settings where I left it. Everything is correct. The buttons are okay. The game is running in the background a steady 30 frames per second for the intro of the movie. So yeah, everything is running properly. The buttons are working properly. So this is the GameCube version of the game. Right now you see the Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I switched back to the game just like I said before to test and make sure the game is running properly and the settings on the emulator is running properly as well. But as you guys can see, everything is running perfectly. So we're gonna close this out and we're gonna boot again the Scarface. So we back in here, Scarface. You see on the top right corner right now, you see that the frame rate is running at 3 frames per second. That means you see the frame rate running, that means the game is running, but it's running way too slow as it is right now. So that's why the game is not loading. To be honest with you guys, here in this moment, when I put it like a couple of times, I put it twice already, I thought that the game wasn't gonna run, and until I saw right now before I close the game that I show up the beginning of the game. It's showing up the beginning, so that's letting me know that it's actually running. It's just running a slower frame rate per second, but it's actually running. So the settings that I have right now on the emulator, I have the settings. The graphics is set up to 1440p, which is 2K. So I have it set it up like that. And all the games that I've been playing and trying, they've been running perfectly fine. And it shows that this game, if you're trying to run it at that resolution, you're gonna notice that the frame rate for this particular game is really slow. And that's why I left it after I saw the title. So I thought it was working, and that's why I left it in here, just to double check that everything was working properly. It is working properly, it's just loading really slow. So what I was thinking about it when I quit the game, and okay, that has to do probably because the resolution is too high. So I went into the settings to check and lower the resolution. So I tried in between different resolutions. So I'll try lowering the resolution to 1080p to see how the game will perform. My other settings, I kept it the same, 16x, AX. So I just lowered it like AX to see how it loads, and I click back into the game. We have a button on the SP and the speed of the frame rate from 3 went to 6, but it's not enough to load the game. So I basically what I did again was I just closed the game and try again lowering the resolution, because it seemed that it worked. I had some improvement on the frame rate from 3 to 6. So I went down up to 720p, and I went down on the anisotropic filtering. I went down from 8 to 2x. And as you see on the top right corner, again, the frame rate improved drastically. Now it's doing 15 to 16 frames per second, and it's loading a little bit better. And at this point, I was like, okay, this game is just loading too slow based on the resolution. So might as well let me try a lower resolution to see if it's gonna load faster. But as you can see, at 720p is actually loading the game. Even though it's at 15 frames per second, it's loading the game properly. And after the game passed the boot up screen, you can see that the frame rate increased again to around 40 frames per second. Once again, I think I mentioned it before in another of my videos. When playing Wii games on the Dolphin emulator, when I'm playing it on my iPad, I hate playing Wii games, to be 100% honest with you, on the iPad, because configuring the controller is a pain in the ass to configure the controllers for the Wii, especially if you're using the iPad. I do have it configured properly on my computer when I play the Dolphin emulator on PC, so the controllers are way better on the PC. But doing it here, it's just being a pain in the ass because it used that extension that they use on the Wii, and that's why it stopped me from getting a Wii. The only person that have a Wii that I know of is my wife. She has a Wii, and I never like bought one for myself because the controller was, to be honest with you, was uncomfortable for me. So you guys are about to see that in the gameplay. So please bear with me, because it's gonna be really unpleasant and annoying. So you guys are about to see this. But so far the game is running properly. And the changes that I did again for the game to load is I lowered the resolution to 720p. The filtering I lowered down to 2x, and that was able to break through the loading screen of the game. So at least I'm playing the game on HD graphics, 720p. So by doing so, I was able to boot the game, and you could see that improving on the frame rate is between 30 to 40 frames per second. So it got a lot better. So I was able to boot into the game. As you guys can see over here, everything is working properly. It's just gonna be a long cutscene that you guys are gonna see.
Say hello to my little friend!
Okay, be ready. As you guys can see right now, this is the issue I was telling you about programming the controller here. So you see that my controller is going crazy, trying to switch in between, and I just said doing a test run, so you guys can see it's like really bad. The only thing that I would make the game playable is it has like aim, lock on aim. You're gonna see this later on. But to be honest, again, playing emulators, the Wii on the iPad is not my favorite because of this issue, because the controller extension is annoying. So that's why I prefer playing the other emulators that doesn't depend onto those controllers, because those controllers are really annoying. But you can see the games is actually running. It's looking pretty sharp, looking better than the regular Wii, because this one is a little bit, the graphics are a little bit more up, and some effects are in place in the game so it could look a little bit better. But as you guys can see, the controller is like my issue when I'm playing Wii games on this emulator on my iPad. This is my only issue when I'm playing Wii games on the emulator. It's my only complaint. But after the changes that you guys saw, changing the game to 720p to X, the game actually was able to run and you could play it. I thought it was not gonna work for this, but I was surprised when it started working. I tried to do this with all the emulators, especially PS2 emulator, and like, oh. Okay, and we're back. So you guys saw the long cutscene from the movie. Hopefully I don't get any copyright strikes, otherwise I will have to demonetize this video or erase that part completely out of my video. But you're about to see the gameplay, and once again, bear with me with this controller scheme. It's just straight up annoying, to be honest with you guys. I do not like playing the Wii in here. I prefer to play it on my computer. But this is just for the emulation test, so you can see that you can actually run all of these games in your iPad Pro, and you can run it on iOS 15. I'm just doing this just to show you guys that you can actually play it. You just gotta be with a controller, or you have like a configuration file, because this is horrible for the controller. This is not doing it for me. The other games, yes, but this one because of the controller, no. And this is what I'm talking about. How my aim is already going all over the place, but everything else is moving nice and smooth. 30 frames per second. The game is locked on 30 frames per second, so it's giving me steady 30 frames per second for this game at 720p to X. My issue again, that controller. So you're about to see, guys. So I'm gonna leave it right here. Just remember, if you like this video, then make sure you drop a like. If you find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment if you have any questions. So thank you guys for watching. I will leave you with this video now, and I will see you guys in the next video.